goals since 1998, 99 has been unbelievable. And this especially from the penalty kicks and the penalty shootouts. To have the timing, the concentration, to leave only one foot on the line and have the explosivity to arrive to this kind of balls. We must say that we are very happy that it has been an extraordinary World Cup for goalkeepers until now. The 4 goalkeepers that have brought their national teams to semi-finals have been decisive, have been determinant, not only saving in the game, being part of the build-up, but also in the penalty shootout. So for us, has been a very nice and enjoyable work to watch all these great goalkeepers make great performances, and we hope that this stays until the end.
Thank you, Farid, Pascal. Jürgen is the captain of the technical study group. What is your main observation so far of the competition?
Well, as you probably can see, we have these discussions 24/7. This is our group looks at all the angles about this very fascinating and exciting World Cup with all the different pieces that are coming out. And when goalkeepers talk so passionately about what happens with the goalies and how the goalkeeper position evolved, Julie and myself, we coming from a striker situation, we discuss obviously more the topic of the number 9s, the false number 9s, and how do the team score goals. And we saw in this World Cup so many tendencies, trying to get far more over the wings because the middle area is blocked by most of the teams tactically.
Name of the organization? Yes, here in the front row.
Good morning, Juan Castro from newspaper Marca, Spain. How do you interpret the 1,000 passes of Spain in the last game and share goals? And if you think that Spain has to review his approach to the game, to the goal, or just keep on trying like this? Thank you very much.
You want to ask any particular of us? Or?
You, for example, as a captain, you, if possible.
Well, I think, we obviously admired the Spanish approach from 2008, 2010 to 2012, where they really revolutionized the football in the world, and it had a big influence on how many players and coaches were educated over the last 10-15 years in many federations around the world because of the passing system that the Spanish team established, and it's admirable. Now we see, we all of us, when we discuss that, we see a trend that, teams are looking for other ways again, because obviously they're very organized in the middle. You cannot pass through the middle anymore. You're not getting into the box, create chances, so you got to come over the wings. This is one of the main kind of topics we're discussing over the last weeks. And there, for that style of play, you need a number 9 to finish things off. And the Spanish approach, in a certain way, kind of pulled us away to the false number 9s, the floating players, the 7, 11 coming in the box and changing positions. And now in this World Cup, we see a lot the trend we discussed it the other day, where those wingers, even if they're big names like an Mbappé or Dembélé or Sterling or Foden, and they are floating still in a way in their positions where they are starting the game. So they're not anymore interchanging sides. Mbappé stayed on the left side, Dembélé stayed on the right side. So all these trends are coming from the Spanish approach, from 10, 12, 14 years ago in players' education and coaching education. I think through this World Cup now you see again some trends going more classic, going backwards, like Holland, in order to solve the game with Argentina, threw in 2 number 9s and started to play long balls again and broke the result. They made a change. So it doesn't mean now that obviously that we are saying, don't pass the ball anymore like Spain does wonderfully. They are fantastic, but maybe it doesn't get you to the end result anymore, because other teams organize themselves now so good that they find a way to not giving you any opportunities, even if you pass the ball more than 1,000 times a game.
Fernando Schwartz, un placer saludarlos. The question for anyone is, what happened in this World Cup atypical? Is better to play the final of the World Cup at the final of the year to playing in the middle of the year? That's a circumstance that we see better football in this World Cup.
Who wants to take it? Alberto?
Ma io non so se la qualità è scesa. Io non sono d'accordo sulla qualità che è scesa, è l'interpretazione delle gare che è cambiata. Le squadre, come ho detto prima, hanno giocato più compatte, hanno avuto un atteggiamento difensivo in una linea più bassa rispetto al passato. Però poi dopo, quando le squadre riuscivano a entrare in possesso di palla, la qualità l'abbiamo vista. Messi, che è il portabandiera della qualità al campionato del mondo, sta facendo la differenza, come sempre. Sta giocando un grande mondiale. Io onestamente non vedo questa differenza. È solamente l'atteggiamento che è cambiato, quindi meno giocate offensive, più sviluppo da dietro, più ripartenze da dietro. Per quanto riguarda meglio giocare in inverno o d'estate, non vedo differenze. Io credo che fino a questo momento abbiamo visto uno straordinario mondiale. Abbiamo visto qualità, abbiamo visto qualità individuale, abbiamo visto qualità collettiva, abbiamo visto un grande lavoro dei tecnici, abbiamo visto veramente tanta qualità. Per me questa è un'esperienza veramente straordinaria, ma credo che anche per tutto lo staff tecnico, per gli analisti, per tutti, perché abbiamo avuto tantissimi spunti da analizzare, da guardare, da riguardare, da discutere tra di noi, perché abbiamo visto veramente cose veramente molto importanti.
السؤال باللغة العربية. أريد أن أسأل ألبرتو زاكيروني باعتبارك من إيطاليا بلد الدفاع حول التنظيم الدفاعي لمنتخب المغرب. ليس كل منتخب يلعب الدفاع قادر على النجاح مثل المنتخب المغربي. أريد أن أعرف رأيك في التنظيم الدفاعي لمنتخب المغرب. أيضا فريق مونتراغون حول ياسين بونو حارس المنتخب المغربي، ما رأيك فيه؟ ساندي أوليزي، تحدثت عن المدرب الإفريقي. أريد أن أعرف رأيك في التصرف التكتيكي لمدرب المنتخب التونسي جلال القادر. شكرا.
Sulla prestazione del portiere lascio la palla ai due esperti di portieri. L'organizzazione è stata soprattutto efficace perché ha lavorato di squadra, ha tenuto un baricentro basso, ha conquistato palla tra la linea mediana, tra la linea difensiva e la linea mediana, hanno collaborato tutti, come dicevo prima all'inizio anche Zeak è arretrato molto a proteggere la difesa, ma ha sfruttato soprattutto, come dicevo prima, questo atteggiamento è stato anche legato alle caratteristiche fisiche dei giocatori, non solamente tecniche, perché è una squadra composta di giocatori che hanno una gamba molto veloce e una gamba molto reattiva. E si sono concentrati, mi è piaciuto questo atteggiamento, questa roccaforte attorno a Darno Rabat. hanno chiuso molto bene centralmente e poi nel momento in cui hanno riconquistato palla sono riusciti ad essere altrettanto efficaci in attacco voglio sottolineare ancora una volta questa grande gamba, grande velocità rispetto agli avversari che hanno affrontato. Si sono creati gli spazi e sono stati bravi ad attaccare questi spazi. Il Marocco è arrivato in semifinale con grandi meriti, quindi non possiamo considerarla una casualità, è veramente meritato questo traguardo.
If you are talking about Bono, of course we are all clear that Bono makes a fantastic tournament. Yeah. First of all, 5 games, concede 1 goal, and even a deflected goal, it says already a lot. And we are not agree if we are here. Yeah. Morocco is only playing defensive. Everybody plays in the box and defend the goal. No. I have to say, we have to say, Bono's numbers of the highlight is impressive. First of all, he's coming out of the crosses, he's brave, and also his involvement to offering to receive the ball, as we mentioned this before, he is fantastic. His playing out style from the back is impressive, also with the defender, even if the opponent are very high up, they play fantastic out of the back, and for this you need a goalkeeper who is brave. For this you need a goalkeeper who is there and he shows up and he fits fantastic to the Morocco team, and they play a fantastic tournament, as Alberto already mentioned, and for this you need a fantastic goalkeeper. And with Bono they have a fantastic goalkeeper right now.
I think Sandy wanted to add something.
No, because it's from a holistic point of view, I think we should be prudent and look at Morocco from another eye. As a coach, I believe you don't make your team based on what you think. You make your team based on the players you have. You make your team based on the war you're going to face. You make your team based on the objective of the nation. The Moroccan team, it would be a very erroneous belief to start looking at Morocco as a defensive team. What Morocco does is get compact, and it's a team that when it wins the ball back, is not playing Catanacci and then just runs forward and try. No, they get the ball back, then they apply the African football. And what do I mean by that? The pass. If you rush me, I will take you on and I will eliminate you and I will find. And in that same act of when they get the ball back, they have a lot of space to play because they created the space. We are not here to analyze Morocco because I'm hoping they can win in a few days. But at the same time also, it's not a defensive team at all. It's a team that just feels that, okay, when we lose the ball, we get compact, and we decide when. We saw Morocco when they had to play the third and the last game of the group games. They needed to qualify. Then we saw a Moroccan team that took that same block I explained earlier on, pushed it 2 steps forward. When they got 2-0, then they brought it back again. So for me, the coach has done an exceptional job in making a team out of what he has and the quality of the players he has. So it's definitely not a defensive team.
Ja, Frank Hellmann, freier Journalist aus Deutschland. Herr Klinsmann, eine Frage an Sie. Sie haben ja 2006 noch das WM-Turnier in Deutschland selbst geleitet. Weltmeister geworden sind ja danach Italien, Spanien, Deutschland und Frankreich. Also 4 große europäische Teams. Und 2018 waren auch noch 4 große europäische Mannschaften im Halbfinale. Jetzt sind es nur noch 2. Deutschland ist ganz früh ausgeschieden. Spanien hat sich verabschiedet, England hat sich verabschiedet. Bröckelt so ein bisschen die Vormachtstellung in Europa und muss man sich auch insbesondere um eine Nation wie Deutschland Sorgen machen. Danke.
Well, I think it's just exciting the way it played out here. Obviously not very exciting for our home country, Germany, the outcome. I always said before the tournament...
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for your question. I refer to it being the best tournament for Africa because looking at the results that has come up and looking at the quality of play that our nations have brought in and looking at the quality of the management that we have brought in. It's been an African galore. For once, we came with an image identity. That's what was in the past. Now, the question you've asked as regards it being an enlarged World Cup, for us as Africa, it's heaven sent. We are a nation of 54, we are a continent of 54 nations, and at one time we only sent in one, eventually it became 3, then it became 5. You know, and we've always felt that we should be more represented. The more times that you play Lotto, the more your chances are of winning. So if you're sending few nations, the chance of coming this far is not much. So that's why it's good for the continent of Africa. It's a continent of over 1 billion people. My country alone is over 200 million people. So for us, it's fascinating when we heard it's going to be a bigger, larger World Cup. And that gives us, as regards the quality, I don't think so. I don't think the quality is going to suffer. On the contrary, we saw the way Saudi Arabia played the first game. It was like, wow, this is our chance, we're going to do it. We see the way Morocco is playing. We see the way the so-called small nations are putting up. We saw the fight Ecuador put up. Now, we're going to see more in the next one. And it's going to be in America. And that gives us, look, this has been a greatly organized World Cup. It's probably the best ever, you know. It's a question of who you're asking. But I think in this instance, the fact that it has been enlarged, who am I to decide what is it going to be? I'm not, you know, it's the world today, and we have to try it first. But I must say, I am very, very optimistic about it.
Mr. Zaccheroni, I'm Marcel from the Telegraph, Netherlands. The game between Argentina and Holland was a game with 18 yellow cards. Was that a stain on this World Cup on the high level? And were you surprised or shocked to see that a country like Holland ditched the attacking way with a lot of flair for a defensive system? And maybe it had something to do with the fighting spirit in that game.
Una delle due rischiava di andare fuori. Quando sul finire della partita può capitare che la tensione salga e non si riesca a controllare. Era troppo importante questa sfida per entrambe le squadre. È stata una sfida molto combattuta sul piano fisico e alla fine è diventata, potrei dire, inevitabilmente una partita nervosa per l'Olanda. L'Olanda aveva fatto bene, non voleva assolutamente uscire, quindi c'era questo forcing finale per tentare di rimediare, e quindi è diventata una partita nervosa. Non vedo cos'altro aggiungere. Hanno fatto, credo che sia stata una partita dove questo doppio centravanti, come è stato detto prima, abbia cambiato un pochino la svolta della partita, perché si è cominciato a buttare questi palloni. L'Olanda ha cominciato a buttare questi palloni dentro l'area di rigore e lì sono cominciati, si sono intensificati i duelli ed è diventata una partita più fisica e di conseguenza anche più nervosa. È uscito Romero, è entrato questo attaccante di 1,97, ovviamente è stato inserito per cercare questo gioco aereo e lì si è un po' incattivita la partita. Ecco, penso che sia nata da questo particolare.
Martin Lipton from The Sun. Everyone's asking about their own country, so I'm not going to spoil that party. England went out but played perhaps a more progressive football than they have for some time. Jürgen, Alberto, anyone really, what do you see an emergence in this England squad, although they've gone home, but of a different type of England team?
I think overall a very positive presentation from the English side in this entire tournament. This game, France-England came just too early. You know, should have been a semi or a final or a final. But so one team has to go home, and unfortunately it was then England from an English perspective. And but I think overall they played a very good tournament. It's still a team in growth. I think this team is still kind of able to get better over the next years. You know, they are age-wise not kind of on the limit now, by no means. So they have a lot of talent coming through, getting better, getting more experienced. So they have now 3 very positive tournaments, with the one in Russia, obviously the Euros where they went in the finals, and now I think a very positive tournament, even if it's already ended in the quarterfinals. So there's more to come from the English side, in my opinion.
Good morning, Martin Fernandez from Globo, Brazil, to Jürgen in front of you. A simple question, why did Brazil lose?
I mean, we all obviously were freaking out with this game, like probably everybody did. A real drama at the end, and then we kind of try to discuss, okay, the difference between the drama of the Brazil game, obviously with Croatia, and the Argentina game, the drama with Holland. Maybe, you know, we came up with some ideas in terms of saying Brazil, after conceding the equalizer in the 118th minute, had really no time anymore to switch gear, or the switch in their brain to become from one very kind of big disappointment in your stomach, conceding this last minute goal, into going positively into the penalty shootout. There was no time anymore to kind of just settle and get balanced again, get positive again, and just now approach the penalty shootout the right way, you know, with positivity in your mind. Meanwhile, the penalty shootout with Argentina was different, because they still had a whole extra time to play, even if they were suddenly shocked by the equalizer from Weghorst and the last minute of the regular time, 100 minutes play basically, but they had a whole for 30 minutes to play. They hit the post, and at the end of the game, they got closer maybe to win it in extra time, but their mind was far clearer and far more positive going into the penalty shootout. And we talked obviously the whole penalty shootout with our goalkeeper experts, you know, what does it mean, how, you know, the mental side of it. So, and I think another little piece of the puzzle, maybe for Brazil, was nowadays, put your best shooter first. It's just something that over the last 10, 15 years evolved, that we always now put the best shooter first, set the tone with the best penalty taker you have, and then go down the ranking basically. Maybe that was another reason why, but obviously when nations like this clash, you know, Argentina, Holland, you know, or otherwise Brazil, Croatia, I mean, it's sad to see one nation leave.
We're going to take one last question here.
محمد يحيى من صحيفة الوطن المصرية. أنا سؤالي للساندي ومحتاج تعقيب من يورجن. بعد ما حققوا وليد الركراكي المدير الفني لمنتخب المغرب بالوصول لقبل النهائي، ووجود 5 مدربين محليين مع المنتخبات الأفريقية في بطولة كأس العالم في قطر، هل المدرب الأفريقي ممكن يحصل على فرصة قوية للتدريب في أوروبا، وإن يكون ليه فرصة للوصول للمنصات العالمية؟ شكرا.
Sunday?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Well, it's the Moroccan team is an eye-opener, and it's very pleasant to me. I don't know if I should really say the question like I feel it, or I should be diplomatic about it. But I think for the interest of my continent, I think it's good. People like us who are blessed by God to be world names should say a word about it. From my own personal experience, I got my professional coaching license 2010-11 from the British FA, and I worked my way up as a coach, and eventually got the difficulty to coach a team in the Holland League that were last on the league of the second league. In 12 months, I not only created several players, one of them was sold to Ajax, which I took from the under-17 team and brought him up and made him the team captain. And we did so well. I was even voted the coach of the league, the best coach in the league. I took the team first position, and just 8 weeks before the team was going to climb into the first division, thanks to my hard work, very little pay, almost no pay, because eventually Fortuna Cita that I was coaching would even have a training pitch. Every day I had to go to run and around. So but I wanted to prove a point because I believed I could do it. Now, you were voted best coach in the league. You take the league to the point of being promoted. You get sacked because you used the wrong toilet, because you used the wrong pitch, all these kind of excuses, or because you refused something, you know. And then a local from that country is now placed in your position, and he takes the glory of taking it into the first division from our own hard work. Now, this is the things that a lot of African coaches experience in Europe. I'm using my experience because I was extremely successful at it, you know. Ever since I've had offers to coach abroad in countries, both as national team coach, and I've kind of not like accepted them for personal reasons. But then you ask yourself, that is why I'm so happy that these 5 coaches have done great. Because, look, we've had great players play in the European League. In fact, we are the ones, and the South Americans and the Europeans, we are the ones that have made soccer in the Champions League what it is. The variety, the beauty that comes with it, you know, and now the Arab world has joined them, which is also great, you know. We have the Asians, like even Duricha here. I remember the father, Chabungu. You know, these are people, you know, that's what makes football beautiful, diversity. For it to get even more beautiful, there has to be a diversity in coaching. There has to be diversity in culture. There has to be diversity in how we see football. Some of us see football, especially in the Western world, as it has to be organized and that. Some of us see football, it not only has to be organized, we also have to see what we call in Africa the gris-gris. Gris-gris means take a man on. Don't always pass. Show us you can play if you're a striker. Go to the defender and ask him, where do you want the ball? You want left? I go right. You know, that is what it is. And that is what the Moroccans are doing. When you see Buffal play, it is exceptional. It reminds me of people like Finidi George, Amunike. You know our generation that the world calls the golden generation. What we used to do then was, as a defensive player, defensive midfielder, I tried to create from the back and win the balls. My objective for the team was, because I was blessed with very good passes, the moment I get the ball and I win it back, I dribble one player, I am looking for the winger that is one-on-one and I'm throwing it in his running path. The moment he gets in there, it is now one-on-one. And that's what made us very, very successful. JJ Okocha was doing the same. So this was the things that I feel. I'm unfortunate, I'm sorry I'm going to elaborate too much on this, but it's because of the fact it's something that touches me personally, and it's something that is making me so happy in this World Cup. Because 4 years ago, I was invited to a television channel in Super Sports in Malaysia. I was given the honor to do the World Cup for them as an analyst. And a question was thrown at me after Japan lost to Belgium. And they told me, hey, do you think a country like Morocco can do this? It's on the internet. And 4 years ago, I said that if Morocco gets, I used Morocco especially when they asked me, maybe because I'm a bit biased, because my wife is Moroccan, my kids are Moroccan, and I love Morocco, maybe. But I just said, okay, if the Moroccan team is given the same infrastructure, the same support, the same attention that other teams get, Morocco will get to the semi-finals. I use the word semi-finals because I really believed it. 4 years after, it happened. Morocco is there. Look at Morocco, it's been 10 years. The country has been investing in infrastructures. It's been 10 years, they've been building the national team. It's been 10 years, they've been pushing for young players. Now Morocco is at the top. And my prayer is that Morocco wins this World Cup. Believe me, I would party for the whole night. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Sunday. Thank you, all our experts, for this fantastic insight into the tournament. Thank you for your interest. Don't forget, a lot of the analysis from the technical study group is available on the FIFA Training Center for you to check during the competition. And we will probably have one more of these briefings before we finish this World Cup. Thank you again, have a nice day, bye bye.